views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, Jonesboro. This is your host for today, Quabila Hardin, and thank you for tuning in to Community Conversations. It is Friday, November 18th. I don't know about you, but I have been looking forward to Friday all week. I'm sorry, it's just been a long week, but today's show is going to be a great one. I have my special guest today, Miss Emma Agnew and Miss Kimberly Marshall, both from the city of Jonesboro, and I'm going to let them tell you, what position they hold. I'm so sorry. Today we're going to be talking about the volunteer gala. I've missed the past several ones, but I am so looking forward to going this year. From the pictures, it looks like they have been having a ball. But before we get into all of that, Miss Emma, can you please tell the listeners and viewers a little more about you, what position you hold with the city?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here visiting with my girl, Quabila. Haven't seen her in ages. I am the Community Services Manager for the city of Jonesboro. And what that means is I am basically your contact with city government. Work directly with organized groups to help them develop programs, provide technical assistance, determine processes, help them make it through the process of local government as necessary. Any nonprofit organization, newly formed organizations trying to get formed who need some technical assistance. We work with a number of other organizations. I should say we partner with a number of other organizations. So the things that we cannot provide in-house, we have a partner who can help you. And so our main purpose is to serve the community. And so that's what we try to do.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Emma. And Miss Kimberly, tell the listeners and viewers more about yourself.
Thank you for having us here. We appreciate it.
Okay.
My name is Kimberly Marshall. I'm the grants administrator for the city of Jonesboro. And pretty much what we do is any grants that the city gets, we apply for them, we also manage them, and we close them out. And it's anywhere from transportation, community development needs.
Okay.
We deal with HUD funding as well as Department of Justice. So we have a round table of different funding sources to help the city.
So do you personally write any of the grants?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Oh, God bless you. I don't know a lot about grant writing. I wrote a very, very small community grant years and years ago, and that was very minimal, but I can't imagine what it's like trying to write a grant for millions of dollars. You have to get your wording just right, or they can deny and kick it back. So God bless you, and thank you for all that you do for the city of Jonesboro. I'm sure the residents, once they really see where the money's coming from, where it's going, they will have a deeper appreciation for what you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to get into talking about the volunteer gala. But before we get into that, let's talk about how you first started organizing volunteers. I know that you have a program that you work with that has created a database to connect volunteers with local nonprofit organizations. So can you please elaborate on that a little more?
Sure. We've come to realize that volunteers are so key and very important to just the general fabric of our city, not only our city, but our nation.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we like to try to capture correctly the number of volunteers and the number of hours served, and also to encourage those who do not volunteer to volunteer.
Okay.
And so the mayor had this vision a few years ago to create a centralized volunteer database, which means that any volunteer or any nonprofit organization could go on this website to this database and sign up. And once they sign up, they can look for opportunities/volunteers. So if you want to volunteer and you're not sure where to go or what to do, then you can go to this website and enter your name, and then you can pull up a list of available opportunities or organizations who accept or utilize volunteers. And so then you can connect through that for volunteer opportunities. And of course, it works the same way for organizations who need volunteers. They are able to go on the website, sign up, and then look for volunteers who fit the criteria that they're actually looking for. So it's kind of a match. You know, we're kind of matching organizations and volunteers together. And this is a way to help us keep track of the hours served. We know that there are a lot of hours served in our county. For instance, in 2015 in Craighead County, there were 922,730 volunteer hours served. And Quabila, what's important about that is a lot of volunteers don't realize the financial impact of their service, because volunteer hours actually translate into dollars. And so those hours translated into an estimated $17,661,526 worth of economic impact. So, yeah, so it's very important that we keep track of this. And one of the reasons, as Kimberly can attest to, is a lot of times when you're writing grants, they want to know about your in-kind support. This is a form of in-kind support when you have volunteers. And so if you're keeping track of your volunteers and your hours, and especially for her as a city grants administrator who writes grants, so if she has a good total number of hours that the city has volunteers, and she can translate that into dollars, and it makes a tremendous impact when you're writing a grant.
I can only imagine. And I know there's still so much work that needs to be done. And okay, first of all, what is the name of the website?
The website is communityconnections.org.
Okay, so if anyone is looking to volunteer anywhere, go to communityconnections.org, plug in your information, and then you can search for organization by your interest.
Right.
And then an organization can also search for you to see who's available to volunteer.
Right. Yes,
okay.
Correct.
So it's kind of like a quote-unquote dating site without the dating.
Yeah. There you go. Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you forget that, then you can always go to the City of Jonesboro website, and there'll be a link.
Okay.
So if you in your car and didn't get a chance to write it down or whatever, you can remember the City of Jonesboro. So you can go to our website, and there'll be a link that will take you there.
And I must say, the City of Jonesboro's website is a very useful tool. There's so many different links to every department, so much information. I utilize it almost every other day looking for something. So thank you all for whoever keeps that web page up.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and Ms. Kimberly, as Ms. Emma was talking about how the volunteer hours translate into dollars, what impact does it have on the city when it comes to getting more grants?
It helps the city, particularly it shows the interest in our grants. So when we're writing a grant, if we show that we have a lot of people that's wanting to go out and work for and help and volunteer their time, that equates heavily, especially in your community development sector. When we're writing those grants, it shows the impact and that they feel like it's going to be very successful in our city.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I did want to add one thing too. I think it's important also. There was a research actually completed by, it says, Volunteering and Civic Life in America.
Okay.
And the research was initiated by the Corporation for National and Community Service. And what they found in this research is that volunteers are more likely than non-volunteers to talk to their neighbors.
Okay.
They are more likely to attend community meetings. Volunteers are more likely to participate in civic organizations. They are more likely to discuss policies or local issues with their families and friends. and they are more likely to do favors for their neighbors and do things in their neighborhood. So it's a win-win-win kind of
Okay.
thing. So it improves your quality of life. Just by volunteering, you can actually improve your quality of life. So that's a reason to volunteer that most people probably don't think about. You probably realize that it makes you better, but you probably hadn't really thought about it in those terms.
I know I haven't.
Yeah, so that's a reason to volunteer quality of life.
And I can attest to that because I was involved in a civic organization, no longer involved in that particular one, but it opened me up to want to do more. I also have worked for a nonprofit agency, again volunteering with another agency through that agency. So yes, I can attest to how it does open you up to want to do more. I find myself now, since I've been here at KLK, I'm talking about politics more. I'm talking about city government more. I've had the opportunity to meet several people that I wouldn't have met in my normal day-to-day life. So yes, volunteering, it opens you up, it helps you out. I mean, you never know the connections that you can make, because if you have a question, oh, I met somebody who works at such and such, let me go talk to them. So yes. So I thank you all. Then I also did a little bit of work with the North Jonesboro Neighborhood Initiative, and so I'm really grateful that I've come in contact with so many great people here in the city. I do just want to ask, I know we're not talking about North Jonesboro today, but is that is that still up and going?
We are actually in the process. It is still up and going.
Okay.
We are in the process of trying to re-energize and revitalize it, however, to move it to another level.
Okay.
And so we're going to be beginning that process, and since you brought it up, we're going to be having our first strategy session on December the 8th at 5:30. The location has not been determined yet, but perhaps we can come back again and talk about that at a later date, because it is very, very important that it's particularly the North Jonesboro community become involved, but the entire community, because this kind of work takes all segments of the community. So we are planning to re-energize, to revitalize, to kind of pull it back in the middle of the road, so to speak, and do some really great things. The Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation is going to be working with us again. So I'm kind of glad you asked that. To kind of get that plug in a little early, but maybe you guys will let us come back and talk about it a little later.
When we had the different city council candidates and the mayor candidates on, that's one thing that came up. That's one thing that came up about revitalizing different sides of town, especially the north side. And here again, this is where volunteers can step up, join the organization. You don't have to live on that side of town to be a part of it. It'd be great, but again, this is where volunteers can step up and shine by coming together, having a meeting of the minds. Okay, what can we do as a group, as a whole, to help better the community that we live in? So I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I'll be able to attend that first meeting, but I definitely want to get more involved. I can't spread myself too thin, but I definitely want to get more involved.
Well, I mean, you always have the option of getting involved over the airwaves. By encouraging and supporting and announcing, on the air if you're not able to get involved in person. So you have a little more unique position than a lot of folks, so you can be involved that way. Again, you're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We are speaking with Miss Emma Agnew and Miss Kimberly Marshall, both from the city of Jonesboro. Miss Emma is the Community Services Manager, and Miss Kimberly is the Grants Administrator. So we're here talking today about all things volunteerism, and coming up, December? Oh, shoot. December the 2nd.
December the 2nd is the Volunteer Appreciation Gala. And I'm going to let Miss Emma and Miss Kimberly go into talking about that and just giving us all the juicy details. So they can't give away everything. Have it and give them little tidbits. You gotta tease them just a little bit.
Okay. So we're really excited about our theme, and that's what I brought Kimberly along.
Okay.
She's a walking, I call her this morning a walking Wikipedia. Because when we were coming up with the theme, we were trying to come up with something really creative and unique.
Okay.
And so we came up with celebrating Jonesboro, the Queen City of Crowley's Ridge.
Okay.
And so Kimberly is going to tell you how that theme came about in just a few minutes. But as Quabila said, the gala is December the 2nd. It's going to start at 6 o'clock p.m. And for those of you who want to attend this year and have not in the past, people generally start gathering around 5:30.
Oh, wow.
Because we do the paparazzi thing. Because we're in our finery, we're looking good, and so we do the paparazzi strut on the carpet. And we're switching it up this year. Instead of red carpet, we got purple carpet, guys. So you get to walk on the purple carpet, and there will be paparazzi. Right now, we have 4 committed photographers, and that's in addition to all the cell phones. Your friends and family will be taking pictures, so you get to pose in front of that big backdrop in your finery and get your pictures made. So people usually arrive around 5:30 for that, and there's a little punch reception. And also this year, I am so excited and stoked that representatives from the Delta Symphony Orchestra will be performing. And so also during this lobby time, there will be the Delta Symphony Orchestra String Quartet in the background while you sip your punch and pose in front of the carpet. So it's going to be a fun time.
Oh, wow.
The doors generally open right at 6 for seating.
Okay.
And so the program usually actually starts about 6:10, 6:15 once people are in and seated. So that's just a little tidbit. We have entertainment. We have food, and we have volunteers. We're going to be presenting awards to approximately 40 volunteers this year. Ms. Quabila will be one of those volunteers receiving an award. Hey. But anyway, so we're looking forward to it. It's just a great time. And as we said, volunteerism is so important. And this is just the city's way of saying thank you for all you do and for what you do. And for a lot of volunteers, particularly some of the larger organizations, they celebrate their volunteers somehow throughout the year. Some of the smaller ones don't have the resources to really do that. And so we want to celebrate all volunteers.
Okay.
And so some of the larger organizations will have volunteers there because you can't say thank you too much.
Yes.
So although they may have received something from their the organization they volunteer for in the past already, this is just a little something extra in our way of saying thank you so much for what you do. And so we get excited about it every year. We try to go overboard. We just really like for it to be a special event. And so we just want people to come out and enjoy. We are leaving some tickets at the station.
That's right.
So you can pick up tickets here at KLEK. The tickets are $25. We haven't raised the price since we started.
Okay.
It is not a fundraiser.
Okay.
So that's why we're able to keep the ticket costs low, because we do have to cover our costs.
Okay.
But it is not a fundraiser. We're not trying to make money. But toward the end, maybe we can talk about what we plan to do if there should be funds left over. But the idea is not to raise money.
Okay.
But you can also pick up tickets, as I was saying, at the municipal building. At the collections window, they have them there, and if you pick them up there, you can pay by credit card if you desire. If you pick them up here, you'll have to pay cash. If you get them from me, you'll have to pay cash, but you can use your credit card at the collections window at the municipal building.
Okay. All right, so Miss Kimberly, go ahead and you can pull the mic close so you don't have to lean in so close. But go ahead and tell us how you came up with the theme. And
it was part of one of my grants that I was looking at. It was part of revitalization in the North Jonesboro area.
Okay.
So I stumbled upon it was called the Craighead County Times newspaper.
Okay, I'm
From-
sorry. I want to cut you off there because I'm looking at the clock. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention. We're going to run out of time, so I don't want you to run out of time.
Okay.
So we have 20 seconds left in this segment. Okay, I apologize for that. We're going to come back from our break, and we're going to finish up with Miss Kimberly, letting her tell us how she came up with the theme. I'm excited to hear this story. So you're tuned into Community Conversations. Don't go anywhere. You can watch us live on Facebook and YouTube or download the mobile app for Android and iPhone. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Are you spending one-on-one time with your kids? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. It's great to do things as a family, but children love it when they get mom or dad all to themselves. So carve out a little time with each of your kids as often as you can. Now that summer break is almost here, try to take off one day for each child during the summer. Take them on a special outing for the day. Doesn't have to be anything big. Have lunch together, toss the football in the backyard, walk around the mall. Use the time to really focus on your child. Listen to what each one has to say. Tell them how much you enjoy being with them. Praise them for the things that make them unique. Remember, your family first.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversation. You're tuned in to 102.5 FM, and this is your host, Kwabila Harden, with my special guests, Miss Emma Agnew and Miss Kimberly Marshall. And before we went to break, Miss Kimberly was just about to tell us how she came up with the theme for the Volunteer Appreciation Gala. So go ahead, Miss Kimberly.
It was part of writing a grant to revitalize the northern Jonesboro, downtown Jonesboro area.
Okay.
And I had one of the vistas in our department. She was helping me do research, and she came across the Craighead County Times from 1894.
Oh my goodness.
So again, it's a volunteer that helped me come across this, which is, I thank Javante very much for doing that. Hey, Javante. So in the review, I found out that we had coined our name the Queen City of Crowley's Ridge.
Really?
And it was a very fascinating look at the city. It was the Queen City once because it was a small town. It was established in 1859. It was incorporated in 1891. And so it was a very big part of them. And they were very proud of, there was 6 to 7 railroad lines that came through Jonesboro.
Oh, wow.
So that's how they became the Queen City, because they were a hub for most of the railroads.
Okay.
And so also they were very strategically placed.
Okay.
And so we're actually in the midst of Craighead or Crowley's Ridge. We also are on top of it as well.
Okay.
So that's how we got the Queen City. They wanted to call it a jewel city. They wanted to showcase it, as we still do. We love this city. We want to continue to see it progress and bring everyone in.
You know, I've been in Jonesboro since '95, and the changes that I've seen are tremendously wonderful. Like, oh my gosh, even just around campus, there's been so many changes that people that used to go to school here, when they come back, they're like, I don't even recognize the city anymore.
Yeah.
And then the city is growing and expanding outward. I am very bad with highway numbers, but going towards Paragould, what is it, 63?
It's 49.
49, I'm sorry. See, okay, 49. It's like expanding so much out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, there's going to be no I guess you say, bald spots in between here and Paragould. After a while, everything's gonna be filled up out that way. So, but all of this couldn't have come about without the citizens of Jonesboro
That is
Correct.
taking pride in the city.
And I think Emma said it very well. Volunteerism has been a woven part of our community and our city as we have grown. Without them, we could not even be where we're at today.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we want to show our appreciation to them and thank them for all their hard work throughout the years and decades.
Okay. This is a great event. You dress up and get to hear some nice music. Have a dinner and just really socialize with various people.
Right.
I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. Like I said, I missed last year, and I saw pictures, and I was in my feelings. So
So you'll have to make sure you're there this year.
yes, ma'am, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So along with the appreciation gala, are there any other things that the city of Jonesboro does to recognize volunteers, or do volunteers ever just recognize the city by giving you all, I'm not going to say gifts, but
Oh no! Please don't say it now.
No
Yeah.
gifts.
No gifts.
No gifts. No gifts.
But did
Yeah.
they show their appreciation, write letters or different things to the mayor or different city officials?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah, occasionally he will receive an email or a letter from someone just really thanking him for a particular employee
Okay.
or something particular that the city has done. But, we feel like, and I think I can speak for all the city employees when
Okay.
I say this, we feel like we have been blessed to be put in our positions to serve the community.
Okay.
So we're not really looking for anything.
Okay.
We don't want anything. We're there to serve and to make our community better. So we really want to put forth the effort to say thank you. If
Okay.
somebody says thank you, that's just kind of icing on the cake. We
Okay.
really appreciate it. But we don't even, I hadn't even thought about that. That never even crossed my mind, to
Okay.
be honest. But we think it's just so important for us as city government, and our mayor is so behind and so supportive of this. I think he gets almost excited about this gala as we do. He is so supportive and so appreciative of volunteers. So he allows us to do it. He blesses us to move forward and to do it each year, and so we're appreciative of that.
Okay.
But the main thing is it's about volunteers. It's about people like you who volunteer in the community. Who most volunteers are just like city government. They don't do it for the recognition or for the thanks or for monetary reward or for gifts, but they do it because they want to, because they're passionate about making their community and their neighborhood a better place to live. And so we just want to say thank you, and that's what it's all about. It's just about, having you stand up and be recognized and having people applaud what you do, that you do from your heart as a passion. And so that's what it's all about. And right now we do, right now we just do this gala.
Okay.
And to be very honest, that's probably all we can do, because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy, and we raise funds. We have corporate sponsors, and I would like to recognize our
Go
corporate
ahead.
sponsors, because we couldn't do it without sponsors.
That's the same way here at the station.
Right, we couldn't do it without sponsors because, as I said, the tickets are $25, and we couldn't pay for what we do with $25 a
Okay.
ticket, because we have to cover the meal with that.
Okay.
So, but our corporate sponsors are our gold sponsor is St. Bernard's Hospital, and then we have also Centennial Bank and First Security Bank.
Okay.
And then we have Ritter Communications, Families Inc., Blue Cross Blue Shield, and who am I missing, Kimberly? There's one more bronze sponsor. Blue Cross Blue. Oh, Bancorp South.
Okay.
So those are our sponsors this year, and we have a number of folk who buy tables every year.
Okay.
And so we have table sponsors, and I'm not going to try to name those because
Okay.
I know I can't name all of those.
Okay.
But we're able to do this because of our sponsors and because of people who buy tables.
That is wonderful.
And we do it for our volunteers. Everybody does have to have a ticket. Even if you volunteer and would like to come, you still have to purchase a ticket. I'm sorry, we just can't do it for free. Because as I say, it's not a fundraiser, so there's not a lot of money to play
Okay.
with. But we do want you to come.
Okay, please come out.
So we do want you to come. So we encourage everybody to come out and support. But this is just our way of saying thank you. And like I said, we do this one event, and this is the third year that we've done it.
Okay.
And it's a great event each year.
Okay.
And so we're just so looking forward to it. But as I said, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, and it does cost. So we have to raise funds to actually do the event. And one, I think, is all that staff could probably put on.
Okay.
Just physically.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we still have to do our other work.
That's right. Gotta run the city.
Yeah, we still are expected to keep all our other work up while we plan the gala. So, yeah.
Okay. And you touched on, you and Ms. Kimberly touched on earlier how you had your Vista volunteers helping you out. And I had the opportunity of speaking with Javante and Candace a few weeks or months ago, and I really enjoyed them. And can you please expound a little bit more, just kind of refresh people's memory about this program, about the AmeriCorps Vista program?
Okay. The AmeriCorps Vista program is a wonderful program. It is a national program.
Okay.
It is out of DC at the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Okay.
And the program is managed through there. AmeriCorps and Vista are two different groups.
Okay.
AmeriCorps provide direct service. So if you serve as an AmeriCorps member, that means you are expected to serve in the community, providing hands-on work, such as working in a daycare or doing door-to-door surveys or something of that nature. But it's hands-on with the community. Whereas Vista is more an administrative position. Vistas may actually write grants. They may do training. They may develop a training schedule for a nonprofit who needs it. Are involved with our homeless task force.
Okay.
And as Kimberly mentioned, they do research for us. But their primary role was to help develop and build this database that we talked about earlier for our volunteers. So in addition to that, they do a number of other things.
Okay.
But the program, it's considered volunteerism,
Okay.
but it does provide a stipend.
Okay.
So if you serve as a Vista or an AmeriCorps member, you are allowed a stipend. And if you're serving full-time, there are some benefits involved,
Okay.
such as health care, daycare.
Oh, wow.
And the big thing for a lot of folk is the educational award that's received. If you complete 40 hours a week, if you complete your term, I believe the education award is around $5,800, and I may be off on that. But that's an education award that goes directly to a school of your choice.
Okay.
It can go to pay down your student loan debt, or it can be used for tuition. If you don't have student loan debt and you want to start school, it can use those to Plus, Vista Work gives you a great opportunity to build your resume.
Okay.
If you are unemployed, maybe you're looking, maybe you're not. Maybe you want to do something in a field that you don't have background for. If you want to sign up as a Vista or an AmeriCorps member, if you are fortunate enough to find that field that you want to be in and do it as a Vista for a year, then you have a year's experience in that field that you can show. One of the things about the Vista AmeriCorps I should point out is they do give you a stipend or living allowance, however you want to refer to it. And it's not that much. I can't think exactly what it is right now.
Okay.
It's not a lot of money. It's not even minimum wage. So that's why they call it a stipend
Okay.
and not employment. But one of the things that they believe is that if you're going to work with low-income communities, then you should be able to understand what that means.
Okay.
And so if you're working with people who don't have much, the belief is that you should be living similar to the
Okay.
lifestyle that the
Okay.
people you're helping live with, because it helps you connect with them a little bit better. And so, but it's a wonderful program. We encourage anyone who is interested, they can give me a call at the office. My number is 870-336-7210. So if you want to give me a call about Vista or AmeriCorps, I'd be happy to provide you more information. Also, if you want to call me about the gala and get a little bit more information about the gala, if you're interested in a ticket or would like to provide a sponsorship, I know we got some corporations out there listening. If you'd like to provide a sponsorship, or if you'd like to sponsor a table for someone who maybe can't afford to come. That's one thing that some of our sponsors do.
Okay.
And they will designate that when they sponsor. We won't have any representatives there, but please donate a table
Okay.
to someone who cannot afford to purchase a ticket.
And this,
So-
that would be, I think that would be considered a form of community service, a financial, even though it's financial, but it's still a form of community service if an organization is able to sponsor
Yes.
a ticket
Oh,
table
absolutely.
for
Yes.
someone else who's unfortunate
Right.
to come up with the funds. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to be making some phone calls and text messages to people I know. Since so many people say, oh, I want to do something. Okay, I'm going to make you put your money where your mouth is.
There you go. So if you can't come, I know we got a lot of professionals listening. If you can't come, call and say, hey, Emma, I'll buy a $25 ticket. I won't be able to come, but please donate it to
Somebody.
make sure somebody else can come that wants to come.
And I know we have some wonderful sponsors, like you were talking about how this would be possible without your corporate sponsors. We don't have corporate sponsors here with KLK, but we do have sponsors,
Right.
business. And I am so grateful. Of course, I don't know all of the background logistics of it all, but from what I know, I am truly grateful for the people that support KLK, because we are also nonprofit, and
Right.
we could not exist without the support from the community.
Absolutely.
Obviously, someone believes in what we do, and I pray that they continue believing in us.
Oh, they will.
So that we can continue to provide a service, continue. This is almost considered volunteer work as well.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. KLEK is a volunteer radio station. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think everyone here is a volunteer,
pretty
correct?
much no one gets a salary.
Okay, so nobody here draws a salary. So this whole station is it's just a beautiful example of volunteerism. It exists solely to support the community, to make sure that the community stays informed, in addition to playing great music and entertaining you a little bit, but making sure that you stay informed. The recent forum that you all did with all the political candidates was awesome.
Thank you.
I think that was a wonderful service. So keep up the good work, and as long as you guys keep doing what you're doing, there will be support for you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. I'm hoping, I don't know how long my journey is going to be here, and I never even saw myself here. I'm going back to school to study sociology and hopefully get my master's in social work. So I never saw myself here, but I guess in essence, it does kind of tie into what I want to do. Meeting people, talking to people.
Right.
I'm getting to know a lot of different people from other nonprofit organizations
Right.
that in the field that I'm studying. So
As a result of your volunteerism. There you go.
So here we are. It's all coming back full circle.
Yeah, yeah.
So you never know. As an individual, and I'm sorry, I never gave the phone number out. If anybody wants to call in or comment or ask a question, the phone number here is 870-277-1080. I know Leganz is he's gonna kill me because I didn't get the phone number out at the top of the hour. I apologize for that. You can also leave a comment on our Facebook page. The video will be available on YouTube a little later on today, but please watch the video. If you missed anything, share with anyone you know. Encourage them to come out to this gala on December the 2nd at 6 p.m. at the 8th State Centennial Hall. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. You get to hear some great live music from the Delta Symphony Orchestra string quartet. So I mean, you get to dress up in your best and get all sparkly for the ladies. Get all sparkly.
Yeah. Like you're saying, do some networking. Meet some people. Do some networking, and be sure to come early. So the doors open at 6 for seating, but you want to get there around 5:30 or so. People generally gather early, so you can walk the carpet and get your pictures made, and just do a little networking, meet some people. You never know who you meet.
Pass them out. You never know who you will meet, who you're running to. And just by talking to someone, like I've had the opportunity to speak with people, I've gotten information that I didn't know that I needed at the time. And other people have found out that I probably can offer a service, even something minimal, for them. So
everybody's got something that they can provide or share.
Yes, ma'am.
So everybody does.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to everyone I know in any organization.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I don't know how many yeses or how much money I can collect or get tickets sold, but I'm going to do my best, I promise.
We appreciate it.
We're thankful.
So are there any more updates? We do want to give a shout out to our mayor who actually has won another seat, won another term for the city of Jonesboro. And those of you who had the opportunity to listen to his interview, he shared, all of the wonderful things that he's done, all the things he's had an opportunity to accomplish. And Ms. Emma brought up the homeless task force. We're not going to get into that at all today because she's going to come back because there's some more representatives that are going to come back at a later time.
Yes,
and
I
talk
think
about
next
that.
week. We have someone scheduled for next week, I believe, to talk
Or
about the
after
homeless task force.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I said next week. Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're going to get ready to take another break, and we're going to come back, and we're just going to highlight everything that we talked about today so that you can get your pens and paper ready and take some notes so you can make plans to come to this Volunteer Appreciation Gala. So stay tuned to KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. The following pieces of money-saving advice are for those still in the planning stages for their wedding. Save on flowers by choosing whatever's in season for your wedding. Also, skip retail florists and shop with wholesalers or even farmers markets in your area and online. Save money by doing a breakfast or lunch reception instead of dinner, or offering a self-serve buffet instead of plated service. You can also save lots of money by limiting or eliminating alcohol at the reception. Finally, don't be afraid to delay the honeymoon until you can pay for it without putting additional financial strain on your new marriage. Check out costofwedding.com for more tools and information to help with budgeting for your wedding. And more important, you and your intended need to talk about how you will handle money before your wedding day and continue that conversation for as long as you're married. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations. Okay, we're down to our last few moments of the show. And so we're going to let Miss Kimberly and Miss Emma, give some highlights of some more things that's going to be going on at the Appreciation Gala. Miss Kimberly was talking off air about something else that's going to be going on, so I'm going to let her share that with you.
Also, with the Delta Symphony String Quartet, we're also going to have like features about Jonesboro throughout the decades.
Okay.
So you're going to see interest points that you can look at. There's going to be things that's going to be unique
Okay.
that is going to go throughout the decade. So you'll see these little bitty entrance points. We're going to talk about from the 1880s to present. So it's kind of giving you a broad perspective of the history of Jonesboro and how it became the size it is today.
And I'm sure many people have no clue on what it was like, back then. I've had the opportunity to speak with some of my, shout out to Jets, paratransit, some of the van drivers. One of them grew up in Jonesboro. He knows what it was like before we even had an overpass way out off of Caraway and Redwood. Like, even for any of that was out there. He said it was a lot of gravel roads, a lot of small. He said, like, even over the Nettleton School District area, that was like a separate community, a separate area, even from the inner parts of Jonesboro. So Jonesboro has really grown and expanded. I would love to know the history.
Yeah. On the way over here, you said back in 1800, they had how many churches back in 18 what?
They had 7 churches, they had 12 hotels, and they had also 12 saloons. So those are kind of pubs or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So it was
what year was this?
This was in 1894. It was a
Okay.
very unique perspective.
Oh,
they
wow.
were very proud. They planned. They also asked for businesses to come in. They were extremely proud of what they had done.
Oh, wow.
They sold a lot of their timber to help build the city.
Okay.
So it was a very unique perspective of the city in 1894.
I thought it was interesting that there were just 7 churches, but there were 12 saloons. So. I found that quite interesting when you look at all the churches now in Jonesboro.
Okay.
But I did want to get in. We talked about the string quartet, but this is a bit of a special treat. Along with the string quartet, there was going to be a little short program by others from the Delta Symphony. There's going to be a flute and harp. We'll do a couple of numbers, and there's a young lady who I'm told who's just phenomenal who will do some violin music. And also there will be piano, vocal, and bass selection. So it's going to be such a treat. And so for a lot of us, I should say, who don't often get to hear symphony music, this is just a wonderful opportunity for you to come out and hear symphony music.
Okay.
And I did promise earlier that we would talk a little bit before we left about should there be money left over.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So one of the things, and we talked earlier about revitalizing North Jonesboro. So one of the things Kimberly and I had talked about is developing a leadership academy for residents in North Jonesboro, and perhaps some other low-income or marginalized residents, but to provide some leadership skills training on a grand level. And so we're in the process of trying to determine how to fund that. And so if there are funds left over for this, just for those who are thinking about sponsoring, if there are any funds left over, it will go toward this grassroots leadership program that we're hoping to get off the ground next year. And so I guess I would also add, so there are people out there who are interested in participating in this kind of program. It will be a selection process. And we're working on that. But anyway, so that's where we have determined if there are funds left over, should there be, that's where they will go.
Okay, so if nothing else, this gives you more of a reason to support this volunteer appreciation gala. The money is going to go to the right place. It's not going to go into the city of Jonesboro's pocket like that. It's going to go to fund another program that can still benefit the city of Jonesboro and benefit the residents of Jonesboro, specifically the north side of Jonesboro. Like I said, one thing that came up was revitalization, restoration of the north side. bringing more economic growth to that side of town. But first, we have to get the people energized and revitalized to care for their community enough to want to bring stuff into it. So it starts with the people. It starts at the bottom before we can work our way up. So I just want to thank you all so much. These little breaks have been coming so fast. I guess our conversation has been just that great. I don't know. But thank you, ladies, so very much for giving up your time in your morning.
Thank you for having us. This is
Thank you very much. This is great.
And so we will have you all back. I'm gonna have to. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm gonna have to pencil Miss Emma in for some more regular visits, so she can just come and keep us updated on what's going on with the city.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
I would love to get the mayor down here, but I know he's super duper busy. So we'll try to catch him sometime next year.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to KLEK. We will be having guests come back and talk about the Homeless Task Force, which is also another program under the City of Jonesboro. For those of you who don't realize, the City of Jonesboro is working very hard to improve the quality of life of the citizens that it serves.
Yes.
Like I said, I had the opportunity to interview the different mayor candidates, the different running city council members, and I was just really they're trying to communityconnections.org website. Sign up. Look for an agency. There is something for everybody to do. There are probably 100 plus nonprofit agencies around the city of Jonesboro.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and don't forget, there is a free Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night. Oh goodness. The flyer is on the KLEK's website. I apologize for not having that pulled up right away. But please go to KLEK FM on Facebook and look for any community announcements.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing